So you want to be confident in public. Most advice on the internet will tell you to stand in front of a mirror and practice power poses, visualize success, and repeat affirmations until you feel like a different person. What you actually become is someone standing alone in a bathroom whispering, "I am powerful," to their reflection at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. The good news is that if you're nervous around people, you're not broken. You're actually running a very old piece of software. Around 70% of people report some form of fear or intense discomfort when speaking or performing in front of others. That number is higher than the percentage of people who floss regularly, which tells you everything you need to know about what humans consider a real threat. The fear even has a name. Glossophobia, literally fear of the tongue, which sounds like something a medieval doctor made up, but here we are. And the reason it exists is actually pretty reasonable when you think about it. Your brain evolved to care enormously about what other people think of you, because for most of human history, being rejected by your group meant you were probably going to get eaten by something. The problem is your brain hasn't quite figured out that a classroom presentation and a hungry predator are different situations. It treats both with the same level of alarm. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your voice does something you didn't authorize it to do, and your brain starts sending you very urgent thoughts about whether you should just leave the country entirely. So what's actually happening when you get nervous in public? Here's the thing most people don't realize. The physical symptoms of anxiety, the heart pounding, the sweaty hands, the general sense that everyone is watching are exactly the same as the physical symptoms of excitement. Your body is producing the same chemicals either way. The only difference is the story your brain is telling you about those chemicals. When people like you and me walk into a room full of people and feel that spike of panic, it's not because something bad is about to happen. It's because your brain has decided that everyone in that room is paying close attention to you, judging you, and remembering everything you do wrong. This is called the spotlight effect, and it is, respectfully, completely inaccurate. Here's a useful piece of information. Nobody is thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. Everyone in that room is too busy worrying about themselves. While you're panicking about whether you look weird standing there, the person next to you is wondering if their shirt is tucked in correctly. The person across from you is rehearsing what they're about to say. You are not the main character of anyone else's internal monologue. You are, at best, a background extra. So why does your brain lie to you so confidently? Well, humans are naturally egocentric, not in the arrogant way, but in the deeply neurological way that makes your own experience feel enormous and everyone else's feel smaller. You know every awkward thing you've ever said or done because you were there for all of it. Other people only saw the highlights. Or, more accurately, they weren't watching at all because they were busy narrating their own catastrophe. Now, knowing this doesn't automatically fix anything, you can understand something intellectually and still feel terrible about it. That's what makes confidence annoying to develop. It's not a belief you can just adopt by reading about it. Here's how this actually works in practice. The first time you do something that makes you anxious, walk into a party alone, raise your hand in class, make eye contact with a stranger, your brain treats it like a crisis. The second time, slightly less. The 10th time, you barely notice. Your brain is constantly scanning for evidence that something is dangerous, and the only way to update that evidence is to keep walking into the scary thing and not dying. This is why telling yourself to just be confident before you've actually practiced being confident is useless advice. You might as well tell someone who's never driven a car to just feel comfortable on the highway. You need repetitions. You need small, low-stakes situations where you talk to someone new or hold eye contact for 3 seconds longer than feels comfortable and your brain goes, "Okay, that didn't kill us," noted. For example, one of the most practical things you can do if you're trying to build confidence around people is to just make very small contact with strangers in situations where nothing is at stake. Comment on something real. Ask someone at a coffee shop how their day is going and actually listen to the answer. Say thank you to a cashier and make brief eye contact. These interactions feel meaningless, but your brain is collecting data from every single one of them. Now, obviously, the bigger challenge is when the stakes are higher, when you have to speak in front of a group or introduce yourself in a meeting or make a presentation you've been dreading since it was assigned. Let's imagine you're in one of those situations. What actually helps? Preparation is the first and most important thing, and not in the vague motivational sense, specifically knowing your material, knowing what you're going to say, knowing the order you're going to say it in, knowing what your first sentence is going to be, removes the cognitive load that causes most of the panic. If you're using 90% of your mental capacity to remember what comes next, you have no capacity left to appear relaxed. The goal is to know your content so well that you could explain it to someone at a bus stop. Your body also has a significant say in whether you feel confident, whether you like it or not. Bad posture, crossed arms, and looking at the floor are not just signs of low confidence. They actually reinforce it. Stand at a normal height, breathe from somewhere deeper than your throat, and your brain gets slightly different data. One of the most common things people do wrong in public speaking or social situations is rushing. When you're anxious, your instinct is to get through it as fast as possible, which makes you speak quickly, which makes you sound unsure, which makes you feel more anxious, and now you're in a feedback loop that ends with you saying, "Yeah, so that's basically it," and sitting down before you finished. Slow down. Pause on purpose. Silence does not feel as long to the audience as it does to you. Eye contact is the part that breaks most people because it feels incredibly personal and intense in a way that talking into the middle distance doesn't. Here's a simple way to think about it. Instead of making eye contact with the room as a whole, just pick one person, say one complete thought to them, then move to someone else. You're not presenting to a crowd. You're having a series of very short individual conversations. The other thing that nobody tells you about confidence is that you're allowed to acknowledge that something is hard without making it mean anything about your worth as a person. When your voice shakes a little on the first sentence, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means your body is responding normally to a slightly stressful situation, just like everyone else's body would. You just have to keep going anyway. What people actually respect in others isn't the absence of anxiety. It's someone who is clearly nervous and does the thing regardless. That reads as courage, which is genuinely more interesting than someone who appears effortlessly unbothered because they've done the same presentation 40 times and no longer feel anything. The 20/80 rule applies here in a very direct way. You don't need to master every social skill known to humanity to feel dramatically more confident. You just need a few things working. You need to know what you're going to say, you need your body not actively working against you, and you need to stop mentally replaying every awkward moment from the last 10 years as if collecting evidence against yourself. Your brain is very good at constructing a highlight reel of everything embarrassing you've ever done and presenting it to you at full resolution at 3 in the morning. Reviewing your mistakes briefly is useful. Rehearsing them indefinitely is not. What actually builds confidence is simple but annoying. You do the uncomfortable thing. Your brain updates its threat assessment. You do it again. It gets slightly less uncomfortable. You keep going until the thing that used to paralyze you is just a regular Tuesday. There's no shortcut, no blueberry you can eat to speed this up, and no power pose that replaces actual exposure to the situations you're afraid of. But if you start small, and you actually start, you'll find that confidence isn't really a personality trait some people were born with and others weren't. It's just accumulated evidence that you've survived things before, and will probably survive this too. And anyway, even if it goes badly, the person next to you definitely wasn't paying attention.